Hey everyone, and welcome to this explainer brought to you by Forge College. Now, if you joined us for the previous lesson, Framing Smart Wallets Conceptually, you know we spent a good amount of time floating up in the theoretical clouds, right? We were having those real galaxy-brain conceptual discussions about smart wallets. Well, today we are bringing those clouds firmly down to earth. This explainer is a crucial piece of your capstone, conceptual overview of smart wallets, which sits right inside our broader Introduction to Smart Wallets course, which is of course part of the whole wallets, account abstraction, and key management track. So our goal today? We're taking those abstract theories and translating them into concrete, testable engineering schematics. Think of it like taking those messy napkin sketches and finally drafting a bulletproof architectural blueprint. Let's dive right in.
Okay, so here's our quick roadmap for the drafting process today. We're going to cover the bridge to practice, translating roles into components, component flows in action, setting evaluation criteria, and then we'll wrap up by building the comparison table.
All right, Section 1, the bridge to practice. Let's move from theory to blueprint.
So, like we talked about, we're transitioning from these high-level conceptual sketches into a tangible map. Let's take the abstract role of authentication, for example. Now, authentication sounds absolutely great in a whiteboard meeting, but, well, you can't exactly code a vibe, right? You can't just deploy a vague concept. We have to map it to a concrete working component, in this case, the key manager. We're essentially taking these ideas and assigning real, heavy-lifting responsibilities to physical addresses in our system architecture.
This brings us to a really crucial point. What exactly do we mean when we say component? Well, in our blueprint, a component is a discrete module or an interface that has a specific named responsibility and, most importantly, a clear boundary. That boundary, that's literally the secret sauce here. Because it has a defined boundary, we can test it, we can evaluate it, we can stack it up and compare it against other designs. If it doesn't have a clear boundary, honestly, it's not a component, it's just a wish. Moving right along to Section 2, translating roles into components, or as I like to call it, the canonical parts list.
Here are the primary canonical components you are going to be working with. You've got the key manager, the smart contract wallet itself, the session manager, the transaction relay or paymaster, and the policy engine. Now listen, naming precision really matters here. If you draw a box on your schematic and literally just label it security, I guarantee an engineer is going to laugh you out of the room. Security is an attribute. A policy engine is the actual component that enforces those security rules. You got to be precise. Which leads us to Section 3, component flows in action. Time to do a little stress testing on these schematics.
So instead of diving straight into raw live code, let's stress test our blueprint mentally. We'll do this by tracing a real-world scenario. A session key delegated transfer. Imagine a user playing a fast-paced Web3 game. They want to automatically approve a bunch of small, low-value transactions without signing every single time, right? Here's how the flow actually works. Step 1. The session manager generates a temporary, time-limited key. Step 2. The dApp crafts the transaction using that specific temporary key. Step 3. The smart contract wallet verifies the signature and checks in with the policy engine, kind of like a bouncer at a club, to ensure the transaction is actually under the approved limit. And finally, Step 4, the transaction relay submits it to the network. Do you see the magic here? It's like a giant puzzle where every piece does its job perfectly and the user's primary key was never exposed once.
On to Section 4, setting evaluation criteria. Let's talk about the spec sheet metrics.
Okay, if you remember absolutely nothing else from this explainer today, please remember this golden rule. Prefer measurable properties over vague adjectives. Seriously, calling a component highly secure or blazing fast is totally useless when you're writing a technical spec sheet. We need hard numbers. We need metrics that we can actually test, benchmark, and compare against other wallets. Look at it this way. If you try to slap extremely fast and secure on a spec sheet, yeah, just cross that out right now. That is pure marketing fluff. What you want instead are measurable properties. Something like revocation latency under 2 seconds, adding less than 50,000 gas overhead. Boom, that is a real metric. Why does that matter? Because if a session key actually gets compromised, you can benchmark exactly how long your session manager takes to revoke it, and you can calculate exactly how much gas your wallet is going to burn while validating that policy. No guessing involved.
And finally, Section 5, building the comparison table. This is the final assembly.
All right, it's time to bring all these pieces together. We are going to assemble the primary artifact that's required for your capstone overview. Here's a really simple 5-step workflow to draft a robust comparison table. Ideally, you want about 6 to 10 components in there. Step 1, extract those theoretical roles we talked about. Step 2, name the specific concrete component. Step 3, write a crisp, one-sentence functional description. Step 4, choose one, and I mean just one, single measurable criterion. And Step 5, assemble the table. Keep it clean and keep it incredibly focused.
When you actually assemble these pieces, it's pretty awesome to see. You perfectly align that fluffy abstract theory with hard engineering reality. Take your key manager, for example. Its conceptual role is to securely store signing keys, right? Well, its evaluation metric is its resistance to key exfiltration, which we might measure by the number of privileged operations that require attestations. Or look at the smart contract wallet. Its role is validating incoming requests, and we measure that by checking the gas overhead per transaction versus a standard account. So let's quickly wrap up with our key takeaways for today. First, name your components precisely based on their conceptual roles. No vague labels allowed. Second, choose exactly one observable, measurable metric per component so you can actually benchmark them later on. And third, document all your interdependencies. You need to know exactly how your key manager talks to your policy engine. If you use this structured approach, I promise it's going to massively reduce your cognitive load when you sit down to draft your full capstone overview.
Next up in your learning journey, we'll be tackling structuring the overview and gathering evidence. You're going to take this exact comparison table we just built together, and you'll use it as a map to hunt down authoritative sources, real implementation docs, and actual benchmark data out in the wild.
So, I'll leave you with this final provocative thought. What will your chosen components and the specific metrics you assign to them reveal about what you actually prioritize in your smart wallet's design? Think on that. I really hope this explainer made mapping theory to components crystal clear for you. To dive even deeper into this subject and explore a ton of other fascinating Web3 topics, make sure you head over to forge.college and keep building. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next explainer.